And we are live.
All right.
All
Good
right.
morning from Dubai.
Yeah. Hey guys, let us know if there's any. Let us know if there's any like back volume.
Oh, somebody needs to mute one of you guys.
Someone needs to mute, he said.
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe when Meta talks, I'm hearing two. Meta, can you go ahead and talk while you're muted?
Okay,
So
Meta, looks like Meta's muted right now. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce everything. Good morning, everybody. Uh, we are on Dubai day. Today's day four. Today's day four, right? We got here Sunday, no,
Yeah.
Monday. Yeah. Today's day four. And it's been honestly such an amazing time. Yesterday, we were at the Crypto Expo and we met a lot of companies, tokens, Saitama, Shibnobi. Honestly, personally, my favorite booth to visit was Shibnobi's. They were all so hyped up. Cliff was there, the main developer, and the CEO, I should say. It was just cool seeing these people in person. It's like, wow, I've been looking at your face through a camera for a really long time, but now I see you face to face, and it was awesome. They gave me a free shirt. They gave Meta a free shirt. It was honestly such a great time, and yeah, so many people. There were thousands of people that were at the expo, which honestly surprised me. I thought with COVID and especially here, I think there's more restrictions than in the U.S. But half people had masks, half didn't. 98% sure I got COVID. Meta for sure got COVID, but I think we'll be all right. It was
you're
really,
literally,
huh?
literally sitting there with your voice half gone talking about Meta got COVID.
Yeah, no. I'm like 98%. I don't know. My throat, it's day four and it still hurts like crazy. But we got rugged by Saitama when we were there. Russ got COVID for sure, and he never actually even could come, which was unfortunate. But the team was there. They were just so busy. That was the busiest booth. They had Hasbullah.
You guys didn't see him.
Yeah, dude. He's gonna. I think he
Oh,
might be there today again, but we missed him completely
man.
because he got there in the afternoon, way
Mhm.
late afternoon, like probably evening, because the expo is between 10 a.m. every day and 6 p.m. We
Mm,
were there from like 10 to 4, 3:30, and he wasn't there by the time we were
gotcha.
leaving. So he wrapped up with them for sure. But man, I thought he was a kid, but he's an adult, huh?
Yeah.
And he doesn't have. Is it just like that's like is that normal for like I don't know. I'm wondering, is it like some kind of like deficiency, or is it just because I know he's well known in the internet space and he's from Turkey.
Right. Yeah. No, he's a well-known influencer for sure. He's
Oh
really well
wow,
known in like the world of boxing because he hangs
with
around like
Khabib, right?
yeah, he's a part of their crew. But
Gotcha,
yeah, I mean, obviously it's not. He has some type of medical condition for sure. But
got it.
yeah, I'm not can't think off the top of my head exactly what it is.
Yeah, yeah, very adorable. But I was gonna also wow, dude, the waves are beautiful outside. It really is very beautiful here. But again, welcome everyone to episode 10 of Off the Chain. We are today's video is a sponsored one by NCAA. Meta or Rigor. What does NCAA stand for?
Both of you are muted. One of you guys has
Oh,
to.
sorry, I was on mute. I was saying it's the National Crypto Athletic Association.
I see the National Crypto Athletic Association. So a huge shout out to them for sponsoring today's stream. We'll be doing a giveaway towards the end of the stream, and afterwards, Meta and I decided at 8:30 a.m. it's a great idea to go jet skiing before the expo day two. So we're gonna do that when the water is cold, but that's okay. You fall, you fall. But regardless, guys, it's gonna be a really, really fun stream. We just want to talk about, of course, the Feds, what they did yesterday. Maybe Rigger can kind of fill us all in. We're here traveling around, not really, again, having any clear direction of what we're doing on a day to day, but we've made every day a fun. But regardless, the Fed spoke out. They gave us their perspective, and we now know what we're doing in terms of interest rate cuts. First time since 2018, December 2018, which is insane, but it had to happen, and it happened as expected. Quarter percent increase, which I think again because it was anticipated, the market didn't really it wasn't affected much by it. We saw a slight dip, I think, but nothing too substantial. And also, we can talk about some of the highlights from the Expo, Meta's favorite time, or who the highlights were for the boots that he met. I met a team there that's a play to earn. I'll talk about them a little bit. But Rigger, start us off in terms of overall market sentiments and everything that's been going on with the Feds, and then we'll talk about those things, and then we'll have NCAA come on. Justin's going to be the spokesman for their team, and then we'll get the giveaway going.
Awesome. And Meta, I dropped you something in the private chat. Make sure you read that. But yeah, so today the Federal Reserve and the FOMC met, and they decided to do a interest rate hike, which is the federal funds rate. Now, this is something that we have been anticipating for a super long time, and it's primarily why we've seen so much volatility in the market from around late December until practically right now. Obviously, there were some other powers that were influencing the market as well, but this was one of the main ones where we saw that dip way in late winter. This is what really was causing that dip. So what actually happened today? What does it mean for the cryptocurrency market? And what can we look to in the future for a little bit of guidance? So what happened was the loans that banks take from and to each other. So a bank borrowing from another bank. Let's say I have Rigor Mortis National Bank and Meta has Meta National Bank. If I borrow money from him, or if he borrows money from me, historically over the past couple of years, the interest rate on that borrowed money was 0%, meaning I didn't have to pay him anything on top of what I just owe him. Now it is 0.25%. So that's the federal funds rate. What that does is it makes people a little bit cautious when it comes to investing. Why? Because now if I borrow money from Meta, guess what? I owe him a little bit more on top. So I have to be a little bit more careful, do my due diligence before investing. And that means I pull my money out of stocks, I pull my money out of cryptocurrency, and I put it in the 10-year treasury bond. Because guess what? US debt is not going anywhere. And I'm going to bank on the government to pay me back rather than a cryptocurrency doing well. So that's what people do. They rotate into the 10-year treasury bond. So that's why we've seen so much volatility. But today, we finally got the rate hike. And guess what? The crypto market actually reacted quite positively. And I think that is because that quarter point increase was already priced in. What we were looking for was a surprise, right? So we got the quarter point increase. If we would have gotten a half 0.5% increase, guess what? That would have been a surprise. I think we would have been going into a bear market. If we got no increase, I think it would have sent us on a huge, crazy bull run. What we got was that 0.25% increase. And now the question becomes, why did the crypto market react in a positive way? Why did the stock market react in a positive way? I think that the crypto market, as well as some stocks, are actually reacting positively on expectations because now they see a clearer path for the rest of 2022. They see that, hey, these rate hikes are probably going to stay at 0.25%. And by the end of the year, we're probably going to be somewhere in the high ones, low twos for the federal funds rate. And I think that right there in and of itself is relatively bullish because now we have some guidance, we have some clarity. Some of that FUD that was plaguing the market over the past several months has finally cleared up a little bit. So I think the worst might actually be behind us, depending on one thing: how inflation actually reacts. And I know I've been talking for way too long here, but trust me, this stuff is important because the reason why they increased these interest rates, the federal funds rate to begin with, is due to inflation. They are trying to get inflation down. So as the Federal Reserve meets, and they have, I think, about 6 more meetings left this year, as they meet, they are going to be tracking inflation to a T. And depending on if inflation reacts, that is how they are going to react. So for example, if supply chains get better, if tensions overseas get better, and things start to calm down, guess what? Inflation is going to lower itself because that's just the nature of it. Prices are going to start going down because supply chains aren't so bad. And then the Federal Reserve will in turn say, hey, you know what? Maybe we don't need to increase interest rates for this month. Again, that is another bull flag. So as of right now, it's pretty much just a waiting game. But today was a day where we got a little bit of clarity. And that's why I think the markets reacted positively.
Yeah, I think we're hit on all the main parts, all the major points. Beautifully said. Yeah, it wasn't a surprise, obviously. Like a lot of this was already factored in, and that's why the markets haven't been reacting terribly. I'm going to share my screen here really quick if I can, just to show you a little bit, a little more detail on that. So if you guys can see my screen here, it's showing the rates of like mortgages over the past few months, right? And mortgages aren't exactly tied to interest rates directly to federal return, but as you can see over the past few months, it's already been increasing. It was at around 3.2%. Now it's already at 4.25%. So it's not like, oh, the rates are increasing, everyone's going to start increasing their rates. A lot of it has already been factored in. It's all been anticipated. It's all already been in the works. It's already been done. So just showing you some data here, like it's already been increasing over time. So none of this is unexpected. A lot of it is something that is expected. It's a lot that now it's just now that it happened, it's probably going to be a good thing. Like people now like know, okay, like no, there's not going to be any surprises, so we're on a good track. So that's probably why the markets haven't been doing terribly. Like Ether's up, I think 4% now the past 24 hours. But not to keep rolling the ocean, but I think we're gonna really touch on it beautifully.
Excellent. Yeah, and again, I do piggyback off that, what you both stated in terms of we saw a slight dip, but now I'm looking at, because I honestly haven't looked at the market since yesterday, and I see that Bitcoin is above 41K for the first time in a while. So things are looking a lot better, and hopefully now we're poised for takeoff, right? The Feds did what they had to do. We were expecting this since early February. Biden came out and talked about what him and his administration are doing. The only X factor right now that was unpredictable back in the beginning of February, end of January, when the market kind of turned bearish, was the Ukrainian-Russian crisis. Now, if we can get that under control, I think with crypto mass adoption, we might be headed up. So hoping for the best. We'll see what happens. Market is looking great. Some of my favorite assets are looking great. But now I think it's time for our sponsor. So we're going to go ahead, and I already gave the link to Justin, who's going to come on and represent NCAA, the National Crypto. I always forget the NCAA acronym, but I do believe it is the National Crypto Athletic Association. So Justin, if you want to click the link now, you can join us live on the stream, and we can go ahead and discuss NCAA in detail, followed by our trivia and giveaway. Pop, you sound like you've been talking today. Yeah, George. Oh, we forgot to do highlights, highs and lows from the conference. Yeah, talked to a lot of people. It was a lot of fun. I don't know. Meta was just, he was like, do you guys know who this guy is? It was kind of fun. It was a lot of fun, but a lot of people came up, shook hands, took pictures. So much fun. But the highlight, I would say, meeting Del Crypto.
Yeah, it's really nice putting a face to people's name. Like you see them a lot on YouTube and Twitter, but seeing them in person, it's like, dang, like that's either that's what I was expecting or it wasn't, but it's interesting for sure.
Absolutely. All right, and it looks like Justin has arrived. Hello, good morning / good night, Justin. How are you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Oh, clear as day.
Sweet. Gotta love those MacBook Pros.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, thanks for joining, Justin. I also wanted to apologize for last week. I know we were traveling and we were supposed to have this call earlier, and we got a little messed up with our whole travel and like figuring out the internet and all that. But thanks for joining us today. Much appreciated.
It's all good. Nothing stops us. So appreciate the sentiment. But yeah, cheers.
Cheers, man. So Justin, tell us a little bit more about NCAA token. I know this is one that all of us were we heard of right before the launch even happened, and you guys had a really, really successful launch, followed by quite a significant increase in price action, of course, followed by a correction as expected for all tokens. But what you guys are doing is definitely revolutionary, entering into the college sports. And there's just so much information and news regarding college sports. Athletes can now, because one of the biggest issues with, generally speaking, with the NCAA here in the United States or any college athletics is college players cannot receive compensation, or historically couldn't receive compensation for, playing. They can receive their scholarship, room and board, yada, yada, but not a stipend or financial incentive to play well.
They can't receive anything. I mean, the organization makes billions, and the students that actually play receive not a cent. So, there's a serious gap there that we're trying to fill. And I think, so far we've been doing some good work. Now, I'm going to go into a bit of detail here, but got a bit of a blurb, and, we'll hold questions till the end kind of thing, because I really want to get this across properly. But I mean, it is pretty epic being able to contribute and, support these players that, haven't really been able to be supported in the past. And they're pretty stoked about it. The resounding feedback we're getting is absolutely spectacular. And it's really only starting. I mean, March Madness started yesterday. So, we're just getting the ball rolling. But, so first of all, I just want to touch on the team quickly. There are 6 of us on the team, myself and 5 others, obviously. I've been I've helped market, 5 other coins. We have 3 people on that have experience on, multi-$100 million coins. We have a developer who is like seriously keyed in. He has been in the space for 3 years, and he is an old college athlete as well, and he was sick and tired of this, and so he thought, with March Madness coming up, what better time and place to really leave a bit of a legacy. So a little bit about the team there, and then obviously with that comes a huge amount of networking connections, right? With him playing in college ball, with our team being mostly in the US. We're going to utilize that and capitalize that as best we can. So, yeah, you're right. This week's launch, it's been a crazy week. There's been some crazy launches. I would say the majority of them are looking pretty much like us, if not much, much worse. We're cranking out connections. We're making ground. As everyone else has seen in the chats, we're pretty much there 18, 24 hours a day, cranking stuff out. So, we're not going to stop. A lot of teams, this is where they start, getting a bit weak, and they get discouraged. They get, a bit, weak in the knees, if you will. And that's because they don't have anything backing them. They're purely running on hype. Whereas every time we make a connection with an athlete or a team, and we're, providing funds for them, they're kicking back positive energy towards our dev team. And it's really propelling us forward. That's what's keeping us going. So it's really cool to make those connections, because it really does drive, our bottom line forward and our morale forward as well.
Perfect. And I was going to ask Justin, if you could kind of chime in and talk about specifically, those connections that you guys have been making that have been funded. How much money has already been sent out to these athletes, and how does it actually work in terms of the tokenomics and everything? And I know Meta's going to get the website open, and maybe we can scroll through that as you kind of tell us a little bit more.
Totally. Yeah. So, I mean, I sent you this earlier, your pop, Ahmed, but, we got the player of the year from Alabama, the #1 recruit, defensive lineman. We're working with, Creighton basketball star. We got 5 ASU basketball and baseball players coming online. We got 5 Auburn athletes, 2 are in the pros right now, 3 Michigan State athletes, 2 Angels players who advocate for college pay. And we just got introed to the San Diego team, one of the teams in San Diego as well. And then to your question as, what have we done so far? Well, so far we've paid over 50 college ambassadors that range, between 10K and 200K followers. And then we've supported and paid a few athletes, just to name a few. Dylan Leonard, he's tight end at Georgia Tech. Dylan DeVene, Georgia Tech again. Kashawn Lansmore, A&O athlete. And I think I'll have to double check with you guys, but I'm pretty sure like 30K, 40K has gone out so far to these people. And there's a lot more coming as well. And we're being smart with it. We're not dumping, 100K on one person. We're making sure that, we spread it out and, make sure that they're also supporting and engaging us as well. It's not going to be a quick 5-second video for 100K donation. That's not quite how it works. there has to be equitable trade back and forth there. So, our plan is to support and provide for as many as possible.
Excellent. Go ahead.
This is really awesome. I think one thing that I think is really unique about this, which is important, is that the market opportunity is very clear. Like, unlike other projects, like, it's clear who you're targeting, who you're trying to work with. It's college students. And like you said, the viral factor is huge as well. Like, a lot of these, I don't know if you guys are on bar stools or whatever, like, it has a huge ability to go viral, and you're hitting a target market that's not exactly too familiar with crypto sometimes, or it's not your typical, pump and dumpers or people just looking to make a quick buck. You're hitting a new territory, essentially. People that aren't too familiar, you're introducing crypto to them in a fun way, in a way that they can appreciate. I actually went to a huge college, like a big party school as well. So with a lot of like frats and all that, a big D1 sport presence as well. So I know this is something that they would really, really like as well. You're seeing all the impacts and how this can kind of be intertwined with it as well. So I think it's really cool for sure.
For sure. I mean, on the website there, scroll up and go to the Hall of Fame. We put some cool UX on there. Should be near the top. And, that's just a taste of kind of the marketing and shilling that we've been doing. And these are all the call outs, right? So, we're definitely making ground and making ground in ways that people don't usually think of. I mean, you see all those, pictures on crypto Twitter where they're doing a buy contest and it's just some graphic they throw on. But these are real people marketing, a real project. And sure, we're targeting kind of a particular audience here, but that's how you get eyes on target, right? So that's just the beginning. We're not stopping. That's phase one. So I also missed, by the way, Pierce Quick, another athlete that we've been supporting financially. So Georgia Tech, by the way, for that one. And for on the coin kind of stuff, like you guys want to know, like locked liquidity, that's locked for 3 months. We've done over 50 ETH in buybacks and liquidity pool ads so far, and I've actually seen them lock that manual liquidity ad as well, so they're not just leaving it floating in the air. We have some extremely heavy hitters in the crypto Twitter space as well, like Eric, Crypto Man, Noodles. And then, we actually are kind of, this kind of floor that we're beginning to hold here. It's definitely turning a few people's heads, and we're getting a few more even this evening. My team has, the team working has mentioned to me that, hey, like, there are people out in the space here that are from, coins that have done 150 to 300 million that are starting to pay attention. Because we are, technically a fork off MRI. And so, we're kind of getting the attention of a lot of people because we're trying to do good work. And so far, it's been working out pretty damn well.
That is awesome. And Justin, one thing that I'm starting to get intrigued by is the fact that a lot of these tokens, like MRI, right, the giving back tokens, if you will, this phase that we're in the ERC20 space, I want you to kind of chime in, like, what's your overall take on it? It's interesting to me how well these tokens are doing. It makes sense at the same time because, people of crypto have made a lot of money and they're trying to figure out what are ways we can start giving back. And through these kind of projects, I do think, again, it's opening up the gateway for us to see, a direct impact that we can make for people's lives. So what's your take on this current phase in cryptocurrency?
It's a really good question. I've been in crypto for a few years now, and there seems to be themes that come and go, just like bell-bottom jeans, right? But MRI, NCAA, all these tokens that try to give back, I think what they're doing is they're trying to target, either new people coming into crypto that want to make a difference, or, just the people that want to leave a legacy. I mean, there's so many coins out there that benefit just the holders or just the dev team. And it's a little sickening, to be honest, because, it's a Ponzi scheme, it's a pyramid. And, the coins that really, do good and stick around and make a difference, it's the teams that really try to figure out how to give back and how to bring everyone else up to the same level. And I think going forward, those are going to be the teams and the coins that really last. I mean, like I said earlier, with our current chart, that's usually when a team begins to give up and kind of, you know, kick the bucket and pack it in and ghost. And, you know, I'm not kidding. When we make these connections with athletes and we start sending them money and they start depositing it and realizing that it's real, you know, they give back a lot of positive sentiment, and it really fuels us. It really pushes us forward. And I think without that, it would be incredibly difficult to continue and to keep pushing as we do every day. And I think that's the difference.
Excellent. Thanks, Justin. Well, this does seem, again, like a very interesting project. I know I invested very early personally myself, and I think some of the other guys here as well. But in terms of long-term roadmap, right? After March Madness ends and just moving forward, what do you kind of see NCAA token doing in terms of, funding college students and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so that's a great question. We're already looking at that. That's a really, strong continuation of what we can do. But currently what we're looking at is, restarting some college athletic foundations that may have run out of money or are in dire straits. Looking at schools that, the colleges, feed from. Say there's a college team that plays basketball, but the basketball team and the feeder school, isn't quite up to snuff, or they need some materials or whatever. We can jump in there and start from the ground up with them and say, hey, we'll donate you guys like 10 grand for, new hoops or new jerseys or, something like that. Right. And I think that's one of the ways that we'll move forward as well. March Madness is fairly short term, and you hit the nail on the head. There's a lot of athletic associations out there that are really on the cusp, especially after COVID, where they need that support. And the more connections we make, and the more athletes that we endorse and they endorse us back, I think the bigger the network will grow, and the more people that will come to us and say, hey, we'll do this for you if you, sponsor us for 10 grand. And that's really what's already happening now. I mean, some of these players have reached out and said, hey, I don't need the money, but my team does. Or there's a person on my team that, is struggling for X, Y, or Z, can't get into that, but, stuff like that. And, that's what we're really going for, so that's what I would say for after March Madness. I mean, there's this kind of stuff all around the year, right? Every month of the year, there's an athletic, focus on one sport or another. And, every single one of those sports needs Robin Hood.
Gotcha. No, you're totally right. And I just thought of I think this would be like $1 million idea. But again, it's not necessarily just for athletics, because the average, I guess I don't know the statistics for sure, but most college athletes, at least they have, their tuition covered. So by graduation, they don't really have much debt. But one thing that could spin off of the NCAA token is, again, for the virality factor, is potentially doing something along the lines of funding a student or someone upon graduation, paying off their entire student debt.
Yeah.
Like the average student here in the United States, I think, graduates with anywhere between $20,000 to $30,000 in debt. So imagine, going out graduation. I don't know how you'd coordinate this, but you'd have to do it with some university, picking a student that is significantly in debt, maybe having an application pool somewhere. They apply for it, and the community, via a DAO of some sort, vote on which student they think deserves the scholarship or the tuition debt cleanup from the token.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that, being on headlines everywhere. So
yeah, I mean, think about it this way, Ahmed. We're still a pretty small coin, but our sights are set on the bigger things, and our allocation of funds to these teams and to these players. Forget about paying off one student's debt. You could pay off the whole team's tuition. You get a team sign on and really push, and we'll just send the whole team forward, cheerleaders included.
Awesome. No,
I mean, that's really what have our sights set on. And there's been a bit of pushback about getting, the gals posting for us and whatnot. But, you got to take it into a big picture where, you don't just send these players, a quick graphic and say, hey, please show our token. You got to start the ball rolling with things that they pay attention to and they watch. And one of the players that reached out to us, he saw one of the girls' video and he was like, hey, I just saw you guys. Funny you reaching out. And it was like, well, there we go. Brand awareness. So
excellent. No, I think it is smart. Definitely diversifying your pool that you reach for. So it's brilliant.
For sure. But I mean, yeah, do you guys have any questions? I mean, this is an interesting way of, doing a coin. I love the giveaway, by the way. That's wicked awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you answered, honestly, my personal questions. I don't know if Rigger or Meta have questions, but otherwise, we could take it to the giveaway trivia. And also, guys, if you have questions in the chat, please feel free to ask now. We have 47 people in here, which is pretty awesome on a Thursday night, which is not our typical stream night. Or no, Wednesday night. It's Thursday morning here. So always, make sure you smash the like button because just after the stream ends, that's where the video actually begins hitting this YouTube algorithm. So make sure you guys smash the like button and also consider subscribing if you want to be a part of the giveaway. Those are the only 2 requirements.
Solid. I saw one of the questions there. One of the girls is my girlfriend. How much did you pay her? Oh boy, a couple $100. She should take you out for a dinner.
There you go. Yeah, but Justin, you did say something. You said you guys paid an athlete. You said $10,000. Was that right? Or
so what we pay the athletes is based on how much they're willing to support us and kind of what they need. There's a range, obviously, with that. If they're just wanting to do a quick shout out, 5-second video, it's obviously not going to be,
right.
ridiculous sums of money. But if they want to, hop on and do a full support, we'll definitely throw more their way. And then if, everyone that we've reached out to and paid, they're telling their team this, right? And so some of the players are from the same team and they're like, oh my gosh, okay, this is real. Let's kind of get the ball rolling, right? And so that's when I say that social networking, that, those interpersonal relationships that we're building with the teams and with the players, that's not stopping. That's a ball that is just starting to roll and just moving forward. And yeah, we're going to be throwing some serious money their way. And, that's where it's going to get fun. So.
That's awesome. Such a cool idea.
Yeah, it's pretty wicked.
Absolutely. All right. Does anybody from the crowd or Rigger, Meta, do you guys have any questions for Justin at all?
No questions. I've just been thinking about it. It's pretty cool. I'm thinking even long term, you have a college student, they eventually end up joining the NFL or NBA, and it just gets even bigger from there on out. So yeah, I think the networking effect is huge in this one for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, as I mentioned before, we have 5 Auburn athletes and 2 are already in the pro league, right? So it's the pro league, the feeder schools are the schools that we're targeting right now. So it's just gonna start the ball rolling. I can't push that enough. I mean, we got your number 1 recruit offensive lineman already lined up. I mean, he's already signed on. So Alabama Player of the Year.
Oh, that's beautiful.
My voice is smoother than eggs. I love
that. Oh, people are funny.
One question. How long?
Sorry, go ahead.
How long has the project been in the works?
Yeah, so development about 3.5 weeks, and then we launched. The launch was pretty interesting. There was a max buy of $7 for 15 minutes to stop, people running away with supply. Lessons learned from that, as always. I think no launch is perfect, but if you look at the holders list, it's pretty solid. But yeah, a few weeks for sure. A few weeks for sure. This wasn't just a quick flip. That's for damn sure. And I mean, in the chat every night, there's people throwing ideas of different avenues we could market to and different strategies. And when we have more time than not, we'll post up and be like, "Hey guys, great idea. We've done it 5 steps farther, and here's how we did it." And then it's like, oh shit, okay, yeah. I mean, we're doing this literally 17 to 18 hours a day, you know, all of the team, like we're all clicked in, we're all pushing, even on the weekends, evenings. You know, most of us are based in the US or Canada. And, you know, so at night, you know, between the hours of like 3 and 5 a.m., you might catch one of us taking a quick bit of sleep. We got some mods online for that time. But other than that, we're gung-ho and we're always there. How are these athletes promoting the project? What platforms or channels? It's going to be Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and then, of course, text messages, DMs. You know, we've gotten TikTok. Yeah, TikTok's a funny one. Crypto, definitely intriguing metrics there. But what we're noticing is that, you know, as we start to get kind of a base going, a lot of the athletes are actually coming to us. I would say about maybe a quarter to a third of the athletes are reaching out directly when they see, you know, fellow athletes or that kind of thing. And they have to be talking because, you know, we're getting some pretty interesting messages back. So that kind of goes into the next question there, Smiling Buddha. Has anyone reached out for you asking for funding when DAO to decide on such cases? I think a DAO is important when you have too many players asking for money and not enough money to go around. Right now we have, you know, still the opposite. We have too much money to pay and not enough players. So we're going to rapidly build that player base and then maybe a DAO. Did somebody say getting crazy in college?
Hey, shout out streamer Inu. They're actually at Covefe was at the and is at the Crypto Expo. So we've been talking a lot.
Sweet. Yeah, currently we have a contest for $10,000 for the craziest shill video from college. You know, no holds barred, whatever they want to do, 15, 20-second video, 10 grand on the table. So it's pretty wild. I mean, we've been getting a few videos that are interesting, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Excellent. Jayhawk. We were talking about it yesterday, Jayhawk. Your presence would have been epic at the Expo.
Sweet. And I mean, going forward, guys, you know, we're going to be pushing pretty hard, and we want to sign you guys up as well. You know, Your Pop, Meta, Rigor Mortis. We're going to be reaching out to you guys and kind of, you know, bringing you up to speed on kind of the behind the scenes work to get you guys on and, you know, push forward as well. So yeah, rigorously.
Rigor has been,
you know, definitely
wide awake.
That's one of our key aspects as well that we want to push for. So expect a DM.
Well, I'll tell you what, Justin. I think you guys, and I'm speaking from the heart here, I think you guys are truly scratching the surface as to what you could potentially accomplish in this space. And I think that goes for practically every charity token. And what you said earlier really gave me a vote of confidence in this token that, you know, whenever people get to this point, this is kind of the make or break, in my opinion. It's either you're going to put in the work or you're going to give up. And it's very obvious because every single morning, one of the first things I do is I go on Dex Tools and I go on Telegram. And every single time I have thousands upon thousands of notifications from the NCAA Telegram. And it always impresses me how much you guys are in there, talking to the holders, talking to the people that, you know, are putting their money on the line because they believe in the vision. So I've been truly impressed with what you guys are building. I am not sleeping. I am wide awake because this is the stuff that interests me the most. And so, like you said, you guys just have to keep going. And I think that's exactly what you're going to do. And I think what you can accomplish is truly limitless.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Really, it's a daily grind, rise and grind, right? I think a couple of days ago, I said to one of the community members that, the first thing I do when I wake up is I literally roll over, grab my phone, and then start from the very beginning of where I've left off. I read every message, I catch up, and then I message the team, and then, we start from there. So, it's literally, a day by day grind. And as I said earlier, this is the make or break. And the thing that's going to be pushing us through is the athletes, saying, hey, you just made my day. You got me some funds. I can now go visit my family back home, or, whatever it is, right? They can buy new bedding, or they can, it's pretty crazy, some of the stuff that we hear, right? So, these guys are working their asses off and they're getting, their school paid for, but that doesn't really cover the day to day. So, we're there to help out for that. And
I think that answers Smiling Buddha's question also, right?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. How do you maintain composure? I mean, as you see with launches, there are people that buy in early and, scalp up a lot of the supply, and then they dump it or they bleed it out. And, it's frustrating when you see a holder that has put in, $300 at launch and they're dumping $30K. That's just extorting the community, and that's really what we're not there for that. And it's pretty frustrating. And so, we've seen that with this coin, and to a certain extent, it's impossible to stop. There's no real way to stop it, and anyone telling you otherwise is just bullshitting you because it's crypto. But the thing that's going to stand out is what we do for real people, and that's kind of where we're focusing.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Bull market is coming. And that's the crazy thing, is a lot of these projects, including NCAA and some of the ones we've been discussing on the channel, have really been doing well, regardless of market conditions, which gets me excited to think, regardless of the conditions of the overall global crypto market, there's always opportunities in there for all of us. So again, NCAA could be a big one, in my opinion. So paying attention to the project closely, again, more information to hopefully come from each of us independently after the stream, of course. So again, guys, really do appreciate you guys tuning in. Always smash the like button again and subscribe to the channel. The only reason I say smash the like button, as I mentioned earlier, it does help get the video out to more people that might not know what NCAA token is. So for those of you who are part of the community, you click that like button and also consider subscribing. And now let's wrap up with our streamly, I was gonna say daily, giveaway. So we're gonna do a trivia now, and we should make it college athletics themed. I don't know what you guys think of that.
Let's do it.
All right. Okay, so we can run down. We'll ask 4 questions. Looks like Meta's first, second, Rigger third. Justin, do you want to ask a question too?
Sure thing, yeah.
Excellent. All right, guys. Remember the rules. All you have to do is like, subscribe, and you answer in the live chat. So we're going to ask a question, trivia. Today's theme is going to be all things related to college athletics. Could be about an athlete, could be about teams, whatever. So we'll ask that, and make sure you answer in the live chat. First to answer the correct answer, first to respond with to reply or respond with the correct answer is the winner. So Meta, you're up, man.
Ooh, maybe come back to me, because I had a question ready, but it's not NCAA related, so it's not college sports. Let me think. How about you going over? I'll come right back.
All right, sounds good. I guess I'll go first, and then we'll go to Meta last. So we'll work our way down. Jayhawk said I sound like a cyborg. Man, my voice has been gone for 4 days. I hope it's not COVID. I don't want to go get a test, because then I'm going to be stuck at home. That's very irresponsible. All right, nobody heard that. Okay, question number 1, coming from me regarding college athletics. So college athletics are typically divided into divisions. What is the top tier division in college athletics, or the collegiate level? Go. Oh, Smiling Buddha. You got it. Division 1 is correct. D1 athletics are the top tier. So if you're the best of the best athlete, you will end up at a Division 1 school. And NCAA has been working with a lot of Division 1 athletes getting their product out there. So again, kudos to them for selecting the best of the best. And you said right now you have the number one lineman, isn't that correct? From you said Alabama.
That's my question. Don't steal it from me. I got a question relating to that person. Don't worry. I mean, I can ask my question now if you want.
Yeah, how about you do that?
Yeah. Okay, so you guys, for those who are listening, as Ahmed just said, we have the number one recruit who was at Alabama State. Now he's at Georgia Tech. What is the name of that player? Does anybody remember? I said his name a few times. To be determined. I'll give you guys a hint. His first name was also the first name of a James Bond actor. This is like playing Wordle.
You asked a tough question.
Yeah, I was seeing if people were paying attention. So let me know if I should give it away there, Ahmed.
You might have to. LeBron James.
My question, just to reiterate one more time, who did I mention that we were already sponsoring? Number one recruit who was at Alabama and transferred to Georgia Tech. Sebastian, got it. Look at that. Pierce Quick. Nice.
Is it last name actually Quick?
Yes, it is.
Is he fast?
Is he quick?
He's hella fast.
Wow. I wonder what his 40 time is. That's crazy. Like his parents are setting him for success with that last name.
Yeah, it would be something, eh? I wish I had that last name. Nice.
Oh, I think I was on mute. Who do you guys have as getting first? Was it Jaden or Sebastian?
I actually have Jaden Klassen.
Yeah, Jaden, yeah, same.
Yep.
Do you agree there, Justin?
I do.
Oh,
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Sorry. Yeah, Jaden Klassen's just up from me. Sebastian's just below in the same minute, but yeah, Jaden had it first.
excellent. Congrats, Jaden. Please go ahead and tag your Twitter handle so we can send you over the Ethereum. So please go ahead and do that. Remember, every winner gets $50 worth of ETH. And also, the winner from my question, make sure you also post your Twitter handle. Who won for mine? It was Smiling Buddha.
Yep.
All right. Rigor Mortis, you're up, man.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll be the first to admit, I'm not a huge fan of college sports. I like watching professional more, but I did a quick Google search, and I feel like this is an interesting question. So, who was the first? Who was the first
I thought it was one.
and only two-time winner of the Heisman Trophy?
That's a good question. Two-time winner of the Heisman Trophy.
Yep,
Michael Jordan.
close. Someone said Jim Brown.
Peyton Manning.
Oh, I think we got it. Chris Herrera. It was Archie Griffin.
Oh, well, wait. I have before him I have someone. Sebastian? Chris Herrera. Rocky said Archie Mason, which was not correct.
Got Archie Griffin. I don't know. Maybe
Archie
he changed his last name at some point. Maybe he got married. I'm no judge.
Yep.
But I have Archie Griffin. I literally just Googled it. It's like some trivia website or something like that. I have no idea who this man is. Maybe it's a woman even. Who knows? What's the Heisman Trophy? No, I'm just kidding.
Best football player, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Man,
All
slow
right,
day
Meta.
today. What's going on here? I feel like our energy is very low.
I mean, it's 7:25 a.m.
That's fair. That's fair.
I slept like 3 hours today and like
That's
2 hours
also
the day
fair.
before.
That's also
So
fair. I
sorry
don't
about
know. You guys usually come in with a lot of excitement, especially when it comes to trivia. But I don't know the energy.
Well, we're
All
about
right, let me bring it back. Let me bring it back.
There you
Let
go.
me bring it back. You ready? My
I'm ready.
question. You guys ready for this? We're about to get mathematical, okay? Mathematical, sensational. Ready? What are your odds? This is March Madness. Ready? What are your odds of getting a perfect NCAA tournament bracket?
And
This is from a coin toss. This is without any knowledge of like what's
Isn't
happening.
it?
but
Isn't
just
it like
you-
1 in like 10 million or something stupid?
Whoa,
Is it?
Justin,
Is it? Is it? 1 in
Uh,
10 million? You said?
dropping hints.
Is it?
I know it's
What is the answer,
really,
folks?
really low.
1 in a million, 1 in 20 million, 50, 101, 45. No. 1 in 10 million. No, it's much.
It's the same odds as
How
finding
many?
a token
It's
better than NCAA.
there's
oh,
63.
I thought
There's
Justin was gonna like
63.
that one.
Okay. All right, I do see the answer, but I was gonna say, I was gonna actually say that I want whoever gets it closest to 1 billion, right? But I didn't really specify that. So how do you guys think I should do this?
What's the answer?
I'm gonna post the answer right now.
what did Warren Buffett? Just so you guys are aware, with March Madness, Warren Buffett, he offers whoever
nice.
can get a perfect March Madness bracket, I think $1 billion cash.
Yeah, because your odds are just not very good. The math is because there's 63 games, there's 63 matches, so it's 2 to the 63rd, which is equal to 9.2. What is it? Quintillion?
Jeez.
Quintillion, yeah. So let's see. So technically, the answer is the winner is I'm trying to figure out how to. I guess the Rocky's gonna get it right. 9.2 quintillion. Streamer
Yeah.
Inum got it to the T. I
Oh,
don't know
I
what do you guys
see.
think.
I
I see
see.
Streamer
I
Inum
see.
here with got it exactly.
Oof, that's a tough one.
He didn't Google that. He just did the math in his head.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
he claims he says according to Google, so he admits to it.
That's tough. Yeah. See, the question sounds good in your head, and then you ask and you realize you can answer it a couple of different ways.
Yeah, so I guess I'll let Justin be the judge here. What do you think we should
That's
do?
fair.
I think the more accurate number should get it there.
Streamer Inum? Okay.
Google or not.
Okay.
Google or not.
Okay.
But it's. I mean,
I see Warrior got it as well, but
I just hope that in my lifetime I see it. It'll be really cool.
absolutely. All right, Streamer Inum, look at that. You got some ETH for more giveaways for stream, I guess.
There you go.
Absolutely. We got to get Streamer Renew back on so we can do some more rating. That was so much fun. Well, congrats to all the winners. Justin, NCAA, thank you guys for tuning in and joining us tonight. It was absolutely amazing. Really excited about this project, guys. I don't say that lightly. I can collectively say all of us that are hosting this are very excited about NCAA. We might have some coverage soon on bigger channels. And yeah, we'll see where this thing goes. It's going to be a journey. But again, anything to do with college athletics, I was not a college athlete, but going through the school system, I know the struggles that they had. Had some friends who were athletes, and again, financial struggles were definitely up there for them to provide for their families and things of that nature. But appreciate you guys for tuning in. It's almost 7:30 here. Make sure you smash that like button on your way out. Consider subscribing to the channel. And also, we're gonna listen back.
Cheers, guys.
Jet skiing.
Have some fun with the jet skis.
And Smiling Buddha, Jaden, Chris, make sure you guys at least reach out to us on Twitter or leave a comment on this video with your Twitter handle so we can figure out how to get you guys your ETH.
Absolutely.
Streamer you know as well. We'll get in touch with you as well. So, but yep, awesome. Thank
Cheers,
you
guys.
for joining us, Justin. Much
I'll
appreciated.
reach out to you shortly with a DM for further stuff. But yeah, I appreciate the channel. You guys are doing some awesome work here. And yeah, thank you so much for your support.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Take care,
See you guys
guys.
all, Sunday, hopefully.
Yeah, no, from here on out, after the expo today, there's really no morning obligation. So we'll be wide awake at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
All right. Justin is my favorite Canadian.
Go. Classic.
Oh, there you go. Take care, everyone.
Awesome.
Peace.